Welcome to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbee. I would like to encourage everyone on my Facebook friends list, everyone in my social groups, and all of my listeners from around the globe. Please do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to my YouTube page, and share this video podcast on all social media sites you are on, such as Facebook, Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, TikTok, and LinkedIn, ladies and gentlemen. This video podcast is available in three forms: audio, video, and as a written text in order for us to reach our audience. I am the founder and president of GRACAM, the Grassroots Community Activist Movement. Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast is our black media component. For those of you who don't know me, then get to know me by purchasing and reading my story. Quote, The Solution for Black America, Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America, 2nd edition. It's available as an ebook for $9.99 or as a paperback for $15 plus shipping and handling. I provide the link to my Amazon author page in the comment section below this video podcast. After you have read my story, and if you agree with my vision and plan to improve Black America, specifically Black Chicago, then make arrangements with me to come on this platform, get on camera, and let's talk about it. And encourage others to get involved with our cause and back this film project. We have upgraded our platform by moving from an audio podcast to a video podcast using StreamYard. We want to interact with our audience in real time through Facebook Messenger during our live stream. I created GRACAM in order to connect with other like-minded Black Americans, like-minded African immigrants within the United States of America, Afro-Caribbeans, Afro-Latinos, and Afro-Brazilians, as well as continental Africans. I encourage everyone on my Facebook page, everyone in my social groups who are Black entrepreneurs, African entrepreneurs, Black artists, African artists, Black authors, African authors, musicians, poets, community advocates, and spiritual leaders to make arrangements with me to come on this platform so that you can promote your products and services or share a 30-minute sermon with my listeners from the global community. We want to grow this platform for the global African community throughout the diaspora. For 33 years, Black Americans have taken me as a joke, specifically Black Chicagoans. They have rejected and overlooked my vision and plan to help improve Black America. All I have is my revised book, my virtual store, my online groups, and this platform. My film project is my last attempt to try to do something positive for my racial group, Black Americans, before I cut and run to the African continent. I am seeking those of you from Black America, like-minded Black Americans that are brave enough, smart enough. Make yourself known to me. Work with me while I am alive. Don't wait until I am dead. Same thing for African immigrants here in the United States of America. Work with me while I am alive. Don't wait until I am dead. This is why I'm reaching out to African immigrants in America to help speed up the process. I encourage African immigrants in America from the following African nations: South Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Uganda, Angola, Liberia, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Nigeria. Please purchase my revised book, either the ebook or the paperback, and read my story. If you agree with my vision and plan to help improve Black America, then make arrangements with me to come on this platform and let's talk about it. And also, let's encourage others to back this film project. Share my information with all your friends, including your non-black friends. This will help speed up the process. Our aim is to raise $250,000. We are using crowdfunding. We have a GoFundMe page, and we also have a PayPal page. If you are U.S. citizens, then I recommend that you use our PayPal page as a tax write-off, because this is a legitimate 501c3 nonprofit, faith-based, and community advocacy organization. In my Christian business, we will raise the bar in Black America. We will separate ourselves from con artists, the Black Boule, degenerates, Democratic shills, hardened criminals, pedophiles, off-code Negroes, and urban terrorists. Those who reject my vision and plan will not be part of my Christian business, because this will be membership-based. We will pray for them, show them tough love, and keep it moving. The question at hand: how long will it take for us to get this film project fully funded and made? Again, the answer is it's up to the Black grassroots and the global African family, because this is not my burden alone. This is a shared burden. We encourage non-black sympathizers to patronize our film project, but it's Black Americans and African immigrants who are GRCAM members' responsibility to build it and to own it. I try to host my show every week in order to engage people on my friends list and people in my social groups until I am able to get my film project fully funded and made. And once the proceeds from the film starts coming in, then I will be in a better position financially to purchase property in Chicago, buy office equipment, hire qualified Black middle-class professionals and African immigrants within the United States of America to work with me in building my Christian business, GRCAI of Chicago, which is the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago, for credibility before I cut and run to Africa. I refuse to be ignored. Again, this is why I created this platform. This is why I do video podcasts, because I want to be heard loud and clear, especially throughout the Black world. Those of you who will work with me and Sister Renee as it pertains to this film project will go down in history with us. Lord knows I would like to do more than just news and social commentaries. But at this point, I'm on a shoestring budget. All of my funds go towards bill, food, and rent. Without financial support from the Black grassroots and the global African family, then I am unable to do my God-given assignment, and that is to build the best African American business within the United States of America. This is a Nehemiah assignment. I do not operate like the next Black man. I have my own style and way of doing things. You don't have to like me, but you will respect me, because I respect everybody. Those who reject my plan for the past 33 years will not be part of my Christian business, again, because it's membership-based. The sooner we get this film project fully funded and made and established in America, specifically Chicago, Illinois, the sooner I can turn the business over and expand it to the African continent. Upcoming events. I am looking for at least 10 people who are on my Facebook backup page to make arrangements with me so that we can host a live Zoom conference before the end of the year. Again, we're using crowdfunding so everybody would know exactly where the money is going to be going. We're using our GoFundMe page as well as our PayPal page. If you're serious about working with me, then please send me your email address through Facebook Messenger. I am limited on what I can do on Facebook on my backup page because my main page was hacked. attacked back in October. I can only send and receive messages at this point in time. I'm grateful for that, you know. It's better than nothing. The title of this presentation, Destiny Angels Wanted, and the Power of the Black Vote. Our first topic, Destiny Angels Wanted. I wish that I did not have to bring bad news during the upcoming holidays, but at this time, I have to be the voice for the voiceless, and that's those that's trapped in American ghettos. On Thursday, November 21st, a sister was shot in the head inside of her home on the south side of Chicago. On behalf of the grassroots community activist movement, our prayers goes out to her and her family. To read the full article and see the video, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Click on the link and scroll down to show and prove. This type of situation occurs within our inner cities in Chicago on a weekly basis. Our children are living in a violent environment, and this is why it's important to me to get my story on the big screen in order to reach the black masses throughout the diaspora. I have been reaching out to black Chicagoans online and in real life for the past 33 years, and still I have little to no support for my cause, which is help stop the genocide in American ghettos starting in Chicago. On this platform, we welcome black millennials and Generation Z. My YouTube audience demographics is between 25 to 55. We're melanated first. We try to present issues that are relevant to our listeners on this podcast by encouraging everyone on my friends list and everyone in my social groups to make arrangements with me to come on this platform so that we can discuss social issues that's happening today. I never dismiss my audience and what they have to say. I always talk about how the deck is stacked against our young people, and this is why I'm trying to recruit brave and smart black Americans and African immigrants to work with me so that we can build the Kyle Chicago for our black youth and their families. The Kyle Chicago will be their voice for this generation. We're not trying to sell them a political party. We're trying to get our docudrama fully funded and made so that the black masses and the black world would know who we are and what we're trying to do for our people who are trapped in American ghettos. I have always had a concern about our youth who are unafraid, unapologetic, and uncompromised. That's what we stand for on this platform. It's very important that we have this discussion because this is why I created this platform. I can't be bought. I created this platform because black Chicagoans told me, I'm just saying in real life, a lot of them was trying to dismiss me, saying that they're not interested in my vision and plan. So this is why I decided to come online, on the internet, to broadcast my vision and plan online. And now I have access to black Americans nationwide as well as a global audience. We are fighting against a 400-year mentality. Now we have concrete evidence that these democratic shields and the black boule are paid and bought for to undermine our interests. And for black Americans to continue voting without economic tangibles and remaining on that democratic plantation. This is why I wrote my revised book. This is why I created my virtual store. This is why I created this platform. And now I'm trying to turn my revised book into a docudrama. I found an article from Fortune magazine, and I talked about this in my last podcast, entitled, quote, "A Zoom call of 44,000 black women raised $1.5 million for Kamala Harris in 3 hours. We were ready," unquote. To read the full article, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Then click on the link and then scroll down to show and prove. Black women raised $1.5 million within 3 hours for Kamala Harris. For a woman who has been in office for 4 years and have not done a thing for the African American community. And to me, that's just a slap in the face for me. I'm up here doing the best that I can. But again, I realize God has given us free will, so, it is what it is. This is why we're going to raise the bar in my business once I'm able to get the business up and running. But we want to focus on this film project first. Since January of this year, out of 2,000 people on my previous Facebook page, I had 2,000 people on my friends list, and yet only one person has donated to the film project. And so that's how come we're going to be, I'm going to do my best to encourage those of you who are serious about working with me to make arrangements so that we can do a YouTube live using Zoom. If it was up to me, everyone on my friends list and everyone in my social groups would back me up 100%, and this business would have been up and running in at least 25 cities and in at least 10 African nations by now. But I'm still on first base. That's how come I'm kind of, I'm not too happy about that. But I'm doing the best that I can. And I refuse to lose. But I want to make sure once we get it popping here in America, I'm turning the business over, and I want to take my business to the African continent, starting in South Africa. This is why I'm reaching out to African immigrants within the United States to help speed up the process. There is no middleman. You would speak directly to me. Over here, we're not going to be doing those marching and protesting. Instead, we're going to focus on building. But before we build, we want to get this film project fully funded and made. Also, I encourage my listeners to help get my revised book on that bestsellers list, so that way the black world would take our cause serious. And finally, for both African immigrants and black Americans who are GCAM members, to make yourself known to me, so that way we can build the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago for credibility. My critics ask me, how does GCAM of Chicago benefits Africa? I explained to them that we will host African tours in 10 African nations and set up local chapters in each African nation that we visit. We will help improve the African economy. For example, according to Black Consumers Empowered, Black Americans as a collective have $1 trillion spending power. To read the full article, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove. My critics also ask me, how would GCAM of Chicago benefit the African American community? We would work directly with single black mothers and single black fathers who reside in the African American community that want to become GCAM members and utilize our programs and services. We would offer quality child care services, youth services, and promote community safety, as well as a host of other things that I talk about in the book. So if you really want full details, I recommend that you read my story. And if you really want to become a GRCAM member, purchase my book. I'm asking everybody that's listening. My book is only $9.99, the ebook. Purchase it. You can download it to your smartphone and read my story, because I don't want people to just buy the book. I want them to read it, so you'll know what you're getting yourself involved with. This is not a scam. This is not a game. This is real to me. And we are going to take the lead. We're not going to sit up here and be begging other black organizations to work with us. We are independent. We're nonpartisan. And, we're not affiliated with anyone. Over here, we want to give black artists and African artists, black entrepreneurs and African entrepreneurs an opportunity to be in our black empowerment films. Look, our Chicago objective is to become an economic base for both the African American community and the African immigrant community before we expand to the African continent. But we got to get it popping here in America first, again, for credibility. Please leave a public comment about the topic in the comment section below this video podcast, and share with your friends on all social media sites you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. Our second topic, the power of the black vote. We all know that Trump won the election by a landslide. We heard the mainstream media trying to give credit to the Latino voters and white women voters, but they finally admit that it was the black vote that helped Trump win the election. Those of you who listen to my podcast know that I come with receipts to back up my claims. The reason why the Democrats lost the election is because of the black vote. It has been proven that the Democrat cannot win elections without black Americans. On Medium, I am following a brother who writes good articles. His name is Dwayne Oxford. He wrote an article entitled, quote, Why Black Voters Might Vote the Couch in 2024, unquote. To read the full article, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove. It seems like he was on point. Without the black vote, the Democrats have no political power. What does that tell black Americans, ladies and gentlemen? It tells us we have political power. We just don't use it. The white supremacist financial elites want to keep black Americans on that Democratic plantation by hiring people like Roland Martin, who is a member of the Black Boule. His job is to deceive you and me. He does not want you to know the power that you have with them getting elected into office. White Americans will not vote for the Democrats like black Americans. Many of them are going to vote Republican. It's the black vote that keeps Democrats in office, and it's going to be the black vote that keeps them out of office. The Democrats continue to practice benign and neglect, giving illegal immigrants all sorts of benefits and resources in front of our faces, which is very disrespectful. Then they expect for us to vote them in office. Hell no. That's ridiculous. And I'm glad that black men, stood up, and I'm very proud of them. all the brothers as well as the sisters, but I'm just giving props to the brothers because it was the black men that former President Obama was talking down to. So we had to show him better than tell him. We would rather watch the Democrats crash and burn. This election has helped expose the black, boule, and Democratic shields in real time. I found an article from my hometown entitled, quote, Democrats, Georgia loses link to black voters, staying home, unquote. To read the full article, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove. The Democrats are no longer in a position to tell us what they are not going to do for us as a collective. We are demanding economic tangibles in the form of lineage-based cash payment reparations for descendants of American slaves/freemen. We also want an anti-black hate crime bill, as well as ending qualified immunity for rogue cops. The Democrats are no longer in a position to tell us they can't meet our demands because they spend all of this money on non-citizens and funding wars beyond America. Family, they can't get elected without the black vote. For 60 years, black Americans have been giving away our power and got nothing out of it. Well, the new black voices of media is here, and that's us. We're not just here to educate our listeners about politics, but we're also trying to recruit brave and smart, like-minded black Americans and brave and smart, like-minded African immigrants within the United States of America to work with us in getting my revised book on that bestsellers list, and donating what you can towards our film project so that we can move Gracam from behind the computer, and so that I can do my job to build the best African American business within the United States of America. So help me God. The Democrats lost Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Nevada. They lost all those different states, right? Because black Americans said, I'm not voting for Trump, nor am I voting for Harris. I'm choosing the couch. The couch caused the Democrats to lose this election. When Governor Gavin Newsom pulled that stunt in California about not signing those reparation bills, those black boule and Democratic shields sabotaged those bills just to win brownie points for the governor. I said on this platform, vote against blue no matter who. We had to send a political message to all these Democrats who have been very disrespectful towards us. If Governor Gavin Newsom was smart, he would pass those reparation bills and disperse those checks to black Californians. Then he could encourage black Americans across the United States of America to help him win the presidency and help the Democrats win the Senate and the House, and he would do reparations on a federal level. Then the Democrats would win the election by a landslide. California is a beautiful state, but Governor Gavin Newsom has ruined that state. A majority of black Americans had to leave California because they could not afford to live there. The Democrats allowed illegal immigrants to be dumped in the African American community, which has caused a clash of cultures. When black Americans tried to sell barbecue, the LAPD run them off the block. But when illegal immigrants sell tacos and anything else they want to sell, They do that without being harassed, which is a double standard and racism. Family, I want you to understand your political power now. Some people may say, well, you're not going to get nothing if you just sit it out. I disagree. For one, the Democrats will eventually have to concede and meet our demands because spending a lot of money and ending up losing is an L on their part. The Lord has allowed us to have a reset moment, and we got to get it right, or else we as a collective will be wiped out by these other groups who are on code with each other. We still have a little time left to build the Kai of Chicago before the opportunity is gone. One of my favorite newspapers is the Chicago Sun-Times. According to an article entitled, quote, Trump inroads in Chicago driven by stagnating drops off in votes, unquote. To read the full article, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove. Mayor Brandon Johnson has allowed the city to dump all these illegal immigrants in the African American communities and neighborhoods, as well as other communities. But on this platform, we focus on the black community. Chicago is a Democratic stronghold. I must admit, I am so proud of our brothers and sisters for taking a stand. Although I have been talking to black Chicagoans for the past 33 years, it's finally paying off. We're not the only black grassroots organization here. There are many others, but I am glad black Chicagoans are starting to listen. According to the article, they found a large part of Trump's supporters in Chicago due to a staggering drop off in Democratic voters turnout. This election played a significant role in Chicago's shift that turned out to be the lowest it saw in the most Democratic leaning parts of the city, and voted decline on the south and west side of Chicago. Why would black Chicagoans be motivated to vote for Democrats and Brandon Johnson when the Democrats and the mayor is doing everything for everybody else except black Americans, or I say black Chicagoans? Many Chicagoans don't want Chicago to continue being a sanctuary city. Governor Greg Abbott said if Chicago would revoke sanctuary city status, then he will stop busing migrants to Chicago. Chicago residents tried to have a referendum about Chicago being a sanctuary city. Mayor Brandon Johnson decided to have his inner circle vote in his favor, blocking the measure to have it put on the ballot. But this is supposed to be a democracy, right? That's what they tell us. Once again, I'm proud of the brothers and sisters for standing on business. We gotta stay on the Democrats' tail. Black Chicagoans, we have to vote Brandon Johnson out of office. He is destroying our city. All that money spent on illegal immigrants, now he wants to propose a $300 million budget to increase our tax properties to help pay for the deficit that his administration caused with all these illegal immigrants. He could have said Chicago will no longer be a sanctuary city because we can't afford it, but he didn't do that. He had taxpayers to flip the bill. All these aldermen are saying we're not accepting that budget, and that's smart of them politically. The Biden-Harris administration has allowed these people to come over here as a way to replace the black vote and have them become their new voting bloc. Based on the Biden-Harris administration, black Chicagoans was wasn't going to give them another 4 years. We have these midterms coming up in 2026. We have to stay on the Democrats' tail. They are already plotting how they can fool black Americans again. We can't make the same mistakes that the civil rights generation did. They won a few victories, then start partying, chasing interracial sex, accepting social integration and cultural assimilation while getting too relaxed. And that's how come we're in the mess that we're currently in now. As I mentioned in my revised book, the white supremacist financial elites was plotting our downfall, which gave rise to the war on the black family through a disguise as a social program called the War on Poverty and the War on Drugs. These two tactics had our people cracked out, which gave rise to mass incarceration, which increased single black motherhood. This happened because black Americans took their foot off the white supremacist financial elite's tail. We have a generation of black people who don't know about the history of the Democrats. The older civil rights generation looked at them different from us. We're living in a great time, brothers and sisters, because now is the time for black Americans to gather our list of demands. When these career politicians start coming around us telling them we demand an anti-black hate crime bill, we demand lineage-based reparations in the forms of cash payments for descendants of American slaves/freemen, and we need that qualified immunity off the books. We need this conversation about who do you trust and why, because that goes to the heart of the new black voices of media. Democrat shield Roland Martin received $350,000 and Reverend Al Sharpton received $500,000 to mislead black Americans and keep us on the Democratic plantation while they tell our black youth to vote Democrat so they can continue receiving checks. According to the New York Times, quote, how Kamala Harris burned through $1.5 billion in 15 weeks, unquote. To read the full article, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comments section below this video podcast. Click on the link and scroll down to show and prove. These are just a few of our black sellout family. Some of you have put all your trust and money behind these candidates. Pay close attention to the political conclusion and the economic conclusions. I'm glad this information is coming out because this shows you who these Democratic shields are and why we have to call them out. We're trying to wake up black America and help get them off the Democratic plantation and into political independence, promoting our own ideology. We vote agenda, we vote policy that will benefit our group. Boulay Martin and Democratic shield Reverend Al Sharpton have been exposed, so take that information and do what you want with it. Boulay Martin is against reparation. He's in favor of the migrants. That's his position. They have no credibility in black America. They're extremely compromised, and they showed us this for years. It's up to us at this point. Reverend Al Sharpton said the reason why the Democrats lost this election is because they did not fund the gatekeepers of the African American community, which are the black preachers and the black boule. I disagree. First of all, the black boule and the black churches have lost their relevance in the African American community because the community has lowered its standards, which gave rise to the degeneracy. The Democrats would have won the election if they would have done right towards their most loyal voters base, Black Americans. They prioritize all these other groups, even illegal immigrants, over American citizens. Last week, FEC filings have came out from the Harris campaign where she raised $1 billion, and the report have been coming out about how the money was spent, and this has created a scandal. The traditional black media, which I have spoke out against for 3 decades, it's all coming to light. First, let's start with the New York Post article entitled, quote, Harris campaign donated $500,000 to Al Sharpton's nonprofit before small ball MSNBC interview, unquote. To read the full article, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Click on the link and scroll down to show and prove. Family, you can't vote if you don't have good information. You cannot vote accurately if you think you're getting objective analysis, and in reality, you're getting paid propaganda. People who say that I'm on TV so you can listen to me, meanwhile the person given the interview has been given $500,000. In the article, they talk about Reverend Al Sharpton getting 2 payments of $500,000. Down in the article, you can see more Democratic shields. The Washington Examiner had revealed that Kamala Harris has given $1 million to Oprah Winfrey's Hopra production company. They paid thousands of dollars to call her daddy's podcast. I explained to my group members years ago that the black elites see themselves as aligned against the rest of us, and now I'm showing you the proof in real time. These so-called black people are getting paid to sell the rest of us out. The Harris campaign also paid out $2 million to the National Urban League. Mark Martel, $150,000 to the Black Economic Alliance. Whereas ABC, CBS, NBC, WGN, and Fox News, and the rest of them not talking about this. These are your bought and paid for black celebrities. People like Steve Harvey, Tyler Perry, D.L. Hughley, just to name a few. The white supremacist financial elite send these bought and paid for Negroes out here to tell you and me what we should vote for, or who we should vote for. They all understand that this exposure hurts their credibility in black America. Kamala Harris was claiming that they were objective journalists operating in the interest of black America. All we're getting is a bunch of lies from Democratic shields as opposed to objective political analysis. The people behind these companies, they've been locked in with the Democrats for decades. This is why it's so important that we build Ghettos of Chicago and put aside our petty differences and work together while we still have a chance, because it's going to get worse in America, especially for black Americans. These other groups know how to work together, and that's why they leap over us. I believe 90% of our problem is on us. Many black Americans don't want to work together. Black Americans don't want to work together, and they don't want a solution. Once we get this film project fully funded and made, I will hire people to join our platform, and we will be hosting our live traveling tours, etc. I love our young people. I don't view them as a threat. If I thought young people were a threat, I wouldn't be trying to build this business. After all, this is my gift to Black Americans and African immigrants who become GRCAM members. I'm trying to reach the next generation of young Black Americans and young African immigrants so they don't make the same mistakes our generation did. The white supremacist financial elites want our Black youth to be mindless voters, voting for nothing. That's why the Democrats want to indoctrinate them young. If young people become woke and get a mind of their own and decide to become a business owner, then they are viewed as a threat. It's my hope that through this platform we're going to take things to the next level in our community. And again, this is spiritual warfare in real time, ladies and gentlemen. Caesar Augusta is the father of white supremacy. If you do the research of Europe during the Dark Ages, they had nothing going on over there. They decided to leave Europe once Europeans came in contact with Africa. Africa has been going through the most ever since. Europeans colonized and enslaved Africans. This was not God's will, but the will of man to kill, steal, and destroy. Africans and Black people are hated because God has blessed the African continent with natural resources such as diamonds, gold, oil, all sorts of minerals, and yet a majority of Africans live below the poverty line. Jesus/Yahshua has called me to create the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. However, I need qualified people that's going to be on my team, that's going to work with me, and that's going to be in agreement with this vision. That's how come, again, we're going to raise the bar. My family members and others take me for a joke. This is why my business will be membership-based. Once I'm able to get my Christian business up and running in America, then we can expand it to 10 African nations, God willing. If we lose Africa, we lose everything. So I'm not going to read all these scriptures. I'm just going to share this with you. You're more than welcome to read over the transcripts if you like. So Luke chapter 2, verse 1, coming from the King James Version. Please read that. That tells you about Caesar, declaring attacks on the world. He's acting like he's God and all that kind of stuff. Who gave him the authority to tax the world? You know what I'm saying? Acts chapter 17, verse 6 through 7. And basically, I'm just paraphrasing. Caesar thought that he was the only king, and then, his servants told him there's another king, and that would be King Jesus. So, read that. God gave each group of people their own land. Please read Ezekiel chapter 34, 11 through 16, King James Version. So, that's why I'm saying America is not the battle. The battle is not for America. The battle is for Africa. So that's how come I don't want to be bogged down with American issues. I want to just get this business started here in America for credibility and bring it over to the African continent. And I want to work with Africans that want more out of life. That's all. And that's what I want to be remembered for, trying to do something, not just some dude behind a computer just running off at the mouth. Genesis chapter...
I lost signal, so bear with me, you all. Bear with me. We're almost done. Again, I'm not doing these video podcasts for my health. I'm doing this to try to contribute to the African American community as well as the black world at large, and trying my best to recruit brave and smart people to work with me and Sister Renee. While we still have a chance, because it's going to get worse. Mark my words. And those that want to suffer, that's on them. Because again, God give us free will.
Genesis chapter 15, verses 13 through 14, King James Version. That's going to be talking about the 400 years situation, and so I encourage my listeners to read that. As far as I'm concerned, that applies to us as Black Americans. So that's important that you read that. Ezekiel chapter 37, 1 through 14, that talks about the valley of dry bones. This is why I'm here in Chicago. Yes, it's a lot of death and destruction in our inner cities, but I have that vision of the valley of dry bones for our inner cities. So please read that so you can get a better understanding about that. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68, and read that. And that's talking about being sold right back into Egypt. So far as I'm concerned, the United States of America is the new Egypt. And I'm called to help deliver GERCAM members that wants to have a better life. That's what I'm called for. We're going to build up our inner cities the best we can. And we're going to expand this business and replicate it on the African continent. We're talking about the fact that the Kamala Harris campaign has paid off a bunch of people claiming to be given interviews with her, but in reality, they were paid off. Then you realize why they lost the election. Look at all these so-called black cities. They're in democratic strongholds like my city, Chicago. Chicago is also a sanctuary city for illegal immigrants. The city and state are taking care of these non-citizens while American taxpayers are flipping the bill. When we start asking questions and holding these black politicians accountable, then all of a sudden everyone starts paying attention to what we've been talking about for the past 33 years. I said all of these black politicians are bought and paid for by the white supremacist financial elites. They're all Democrat first. They're not interested in making sure that we have generational wealth and black economic empowerment. You're only going to get that from over here. That's what I've been promoting again for the past 33 years. Again, I just want to take this business or this organization to the next level. That's getting it on the big screen. And the proceeds from that's going to put me in a better position so I can walk into my calling. I'm trying to build GERCAM Chicago, but I lack support from black Chicagoans. This is why I'm online to broadcast my vision and plan beyond black Chicago. It's important that we separate ourselves from these off-code Negroes, con artists, the black boule, and Democratic shills, pedophiles, urban terrorists, all that. They're not building nothing for the next generation. We have a lot of young black talent, young African talent that's going unnoticed and not being discovered. We're out here struggling financially, while the sellouts' priority is to be seen smiling in the cameras and looking like they're doing something. This is why they kicked me off my main Facebook page and always trying to intercept my video podcasts or block us from getting to these sellouts. These Democratic shields and black boules are not going to back our agenda because their priority is to be gatekeepers and maintain the status quo. Generation X were a younger version of the civil rights generation, and what worked for the civil rights generation they thought was going to work on us too. One thing that is no longer in dispute with this election is that the white supremacist financial elites is not going to stop trying to target black Americans. They understand our generation is not looking for integration, educational scholarships, and government jobs. They know we want our reparations and an anti-black hate crime bill. They're already plotting how to trick us to come back on the Democrat plantation. The civil rights generation agenda is no longer relevant. The U.S. government gave Ukraine $174 billion, and the U.S. government gave Israel $12.5 billion. Chicago is expected to pay $141 million to care for illegal immigrants. Jewish Americans have Chuck Schumer trying to create laws just for Jewish people. Then why can't we have laws just for black Americans? The white supremacist financial elites watch this election, and what they recognize is that it was the black grassroots from the internet that messed up their game plan. If they are throwing $100 million around spending that kind of money, they're expecting real results in their favor. They spent millions of dollars for the Beyonce events, Justin Bieber, all the top celebrities, and because Kamala Harris couldn't draw a large crowd, then she walked out there and pretending it's a political rally. Truth be told, she didn't get those numbers. The DNC were paying celebrities to increase her numbers. The traditional black media is dead because they're bought and paid for. I'm called to help black America get its house in order, as well as recruit brave and smart like-minded black Americans and like-minded African immigrants in America to work with me in building the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. Our battle is for reparation for descendants of American slaves/freemen. Also to obtain an anti-black hate crime bill, as well as make an impact within our inner city starting in Chicago, and expand the business to 10 African nations so that we can do international trade among our members and people throughout the diaspora. Thank you all for listening. Please make sure you tell your friends and family about our video podcast and encourage them to subscribe. This platform is an interactive platform. I would love for all of my listeners to get behind our film project so that we can move from beyond cyberspace into the big screen, then make our presence known in the African American community and the African immigrant community for credibility. Before we expand to Africa, Brazil, and the Caribbean, please leave a public comment about the topic in the comment section below this video podcast and share with your friends on all social media sites you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. Thank you all for listening. We greatly appreciate it. Put me on blast by telling all your friends and family to watch our content on our YouTube page. I'm going to send a challenge out to everybody that's listening to this video podcast. I need you all to support our film project so that we can move beyond cyberspace and get our story on the big screen to let the black world know who we are and what we're trying to do for our people that's trapped in American ghettos, starting in Chicago. Hood Liberator made in Chicago, the war against Willie Lynch begins, unquote. You can be part of this historic docudrama by contributing to our campaign either on our GoFundMe page or our PayPal page, which will help fund marketing, promotion, clearance, legal, and general expenses. I would like to thank everyone who have contributed or will contribute to support our film project on our GoFundMe page, or if you're a U.S. citizen, then you can use our PayPal page as a tax write-off, because this is a legitimate 501c3 nonprofit, faith-based, and community advocacy organization. You can also purchase items from our virtual store or purchase my revised book. The ebook is $9.99, or the paperback is $15 plus shipping and handling. We appreciate your support. You can find all the links below below this video podcast in the comment section. Thank you for watching our YouTube live or the replay. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. I want to thank all of you for listening to our audio podcast on Spotify. If you are new to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast, welcome to our safe space where we discuss black issues. We do this every week. Please do me a favor. Click that subscribe button, hit that like button, and join us each and every time we're here. This will conclude our video podcast for today. We will see you on the next episode. Peace and blessings.